Jamaica's building codes are said to be designed for Category 5 hurricane impact. However, following Hurricane Melissa, we've seen some serious weaknesses being exposed, leaving many homes severely damaged as thousands start to rebuild. We have with us the former president of Incorporated Master Builders Association, Lenworth Kelly, and he's gonna give us a guide to homeowners. Yes, that's what you're going to do this morning, on what to consider to rebuild stronger and safer. Good morning, Lenworth.
Morning, sir.
Always good to have you.
Yes,
Is that a fact that Daily just read, that we build with Category 5 hurricanes?
We should. The codes are there, and that's what we should.
So the code suggests that you should build like
that. Yes, that's what the code is for.
Isn't one of the issues, though, that a lot of us build ourselves? In other words, me and my little cousin put up a little, thing, and we're not too certain exactly where to put what and what to put where.
Yes, we have a lot of informal construction, so we suffer from that. And in our kind of economy, that is expected. But we can do a little bit more for kind of, make it, get a little bit more resilient.
Yep.
The ideal, but
can board houses withstand a Category 5? If it is...
Go ahead, finish.
No, that's it. Can it withstand a Category 5?
It depends on the type of what you call board house. Now, what we do is normally apply nail down some 2x4s. Now, that's a very temporary structure. But when you go in places like Guyana and some places Central and South America, where they build, your board house is designed, even with the size of the lumber that you're using, and it's designed to withstand hurricane, it's designed for earthquakes and all of that. So it's all in the design and building to the design.
I don't want to get too much into the technicalities of it because it might take the whole show to explain. But when you say it's designed for a hurricane impact, what is that? Is it the shape? Is it the material?
It's both. The connectors. So the engineers will take the materials you have and design the structure accordingly to resist wind. Remember, not just wind your structure is for, but also earthquakes, right? So that's an intricate, that come with training and experience and how you use the code to get those details out. And then you monitor the construction to ensure that what is designed is what is built.
God, we're in trouble. Because I know half of the informal people, them don't even know there's a code.
So you don't need a slab roof to secure yourself?
And evidence is there. There are many buildings that survived. Right in around the eye wall, many structures survived, roofs intact, everything.
Why?
Because they would have built to code. And I kind of just want to, if you allow me to just lead into some of the very basic things that people need to appreciate. You're building your local house, your block and steel and so on. Ensure that the bolts, there are some anchor bolts that must be cast in the belt beam. Everybody know that beam at the top of the wall is the belt beam that the roof sit on. You have some anchor bolts you put in there, shaped like a J, and you leave the threaded part outside. On top of that, you put your wall plates. So after 2x4, we recommend 2x6, and you make sure it tighten down and it not and washer, tighten down. Your rafters now, which are the sloping things you see shown on the screen there, that come down like this, you use hurricane straps.
What is a hurricane strap?
A hurricane strap is it looks like a flat piece of metal that you turn halfway and twist it.
That's it right there?
Exactly, that's it right there. Right? And you screw that onto both the rafter and the wall plate. So that makes sure the rafter is on it. Then the next thing you put is your lats. Some them call 1B3, 2B2 that run across the rafters that must be screwed into the rafter with long screw. Make sure you get at least 1.5 inches of screw going down into the rafter. And
that's what we're looking at again?
No, you're not seeing that there. That's the strap. But them call them lat. You will see when you look up, the piece then that run long way, that is the lat. This big piece that slope down, those are the rafters. Right? Julie Mango has I can say that?
Yes.
Has a very good explanation on I see it on Instagram and Facebook, but she does mention that you must make sure the engineer check it. She mentions that, right? So, and then now your sheeting goes on top of that. So, Daily, look a little concerned.
Very concerned. No, I'm very concerned because it sounds to me, Lenward, then that the very first place you have to start in the rebuilding process is to not shortchange it. You have to find the right engineers and builders to do it, because sometimes, a man will say to you, hey, I don't come here, so I can't come do it for you. Like, I would only see the wall at the end of it, All the way you tell me about rafters and tube this, and I would have no idea what that looks like. Is that important if you're rebuilding, to have the right people who have the right knowledge?
Yes, it is important, and not everybody going to be able to afford an engineer.
Yeah.
But what government has regulators that you can ask them over.
Really?
Of course, they must be available for the public. So your parish council inspector should be able to come and say, listen, don't build this way, build that way. Ideally, you should have submitted a plan, and while you're building, they come and inspect. But we know a lot of buildings for which plans were submitted and approved that lose the roof too.
Yeah.
So what went wrong? The regulators have to come in and speak to that. But what government could do, having those resources, is make allowance for your regulators to come in when people even building informally, because not everybody can get. So I could deal with the realities and have those persons come in and say, boy, I may put up a little 10 by 10, just come check it for me, give me some guidance, give me have a little basic guide that, can help me, and just come look even 2 times.
Mr. Kelly, we spoke about board house, we spoke about slab roof. Want to zinc. Zinc roof can work?
Zinc roof is quite fine. It's the construct.
Hurricane?
Yes, man. It's the construct. Never go and look. There are many roofs still intact. It's not lucky, them lucky.
And with zinc?
With zinc.
And with board?
With board on it, yes. Your timber frame and your sheeting on it. You have to space your lights properly. Your connectors must all be screws. And people do not use any drywall screw on your roof. Them cheap. Do not use them there for internal use only. Hear them name drywall screw? Use them on drywall inside the house. They're not supposed to be subject to weathering. Get wood screws. One of the things we recommend is that what government could do is give out vouchers for people who can ill afford it to go to the area and get specific things: wood screws, hurricane straps, and bolts. If you give people, then him can't go there go get paint, him can't go there go get nail, him can only get the screws, the straps, and the bolts, and that is what you will have to use.
Yeah, another question, because I heard in building, and we're talking about the roof, that you have the breeze, have you have a space to come out back. In other words, if it's sealed and the breeze getting it, all lift up the roof. And
you want to release the pressure. You want to release the pressure, because then it's building up one side.
But that no mean you have areas in a roof where things can come in and rain and all kind of thing. I'm asking.
You go after, if there's a breach, if there's already a breach, right, and the wind is coming in, even over the top of the wall, if you don't put in what you call a blocking board, and wind comes in under there, it creates what you call uplift. So the pressure is built in, so you want a release. So you find a lot of places, a man build a good pen or whatever, and them roof screw down properly, but it's open, so the breeze just go through it, don't get any time to build an uplift, and it's anchored properly. It's anchored properly, because remember, also now, when you drive a nail in, it goes straight in, so it will come straight back out, but when you screw it in, they will not go and unwind that screw, and it takes a significant force to rip that screw out.
Yeah. We've been talking a lot about the roof, but I know in some parts of Jamaica, like people have said, oh, Taylor, there's somebody who lives close to me, the entire home, it just blow down or wash away or much. What do we have to do now in the foundation? We have to have about the roof, but down here, so now, Lenward, what do we have to do to make sure it stays?
It comes back, it's a couple of things. One, I want to mention code, because if you build to code, then you're designed to code, so you would have designed properly, but your location may be wrong. So I was up in Maroon Town 2 Saturdays ago. I was just driving up, and I see house built in what we know as drainage channels. It's not a river course, but that's where when you get enough rain, water run. And they build a house right in there. So the water may not have run there for a while, but you set up yourself a disaster. That is just real foolishness. You can't do that. You can't build in what it was a farm, a riverbed. There's no such thing as a farm, a riverbed. Mm-hmm. It is a riverbed. Yeah. It's just a matter of time the river going to come back.
Its course. Mm-hmm.
Right? So where we build, some slopes, you have unstable slopes. Some people build on slopes and then it erodes. So by 7 Mile, remember some years ago, it was no big storm. It was just a lot of rain. And they came down because after a while, the slope kept getting eroded. And if you live somewhere and down the road, you keep the dirt washing down, at some point, a house going to wash down because the dirt is being removed from the slopes that are keeping the house in place. So when you go and chip it away, these things going to happen. So where we build, we have to be, and government has to enforce that strictly because you can't allow people to build in places that once a storm comes, there's going to be damage. We're going to forever be paying for that. That can't work. Right?
But
so
you already said some of us just can't afford to do what we ought to do. So I would like you to tell the folks who can't afford that, and then when just put a little thing together, a hurricane don't know, they need some shelter. What's the least they can do to make it decent?
The least you can do is use screws. Use the right fastener. Screws, no nails. Screw the thing together. And if you're going to put on a little board house, make sure you just put on a piece of, dig out the ground, lay some concrete, but concrete it in with even 2 pieces of steel and bolt the what you call the bottom plate, right? That's the first piece of tool before you put on, bolt it down. And then everything else is screwed together and bolted together until you come right up. That's your best resistance. Not ideal,
right,
but that is your best because we understand the constraint. But government have a big role to play there, and they have to get the enforcement teams out, the regulators out there, educating the people and giving them guidance.
Okay.
I get the wrap-up signal, but you said earlier that they can go and get stuff. How that works?
That's a suggestion.
Oh, that's a suggestion.
We're making a suggestion that what the government should do is give vouchers.
Okay,
these
all
people
right.
can
for specific things.
Yes, and you can only get the hurricane strike, only get wood screw, only get bolts, right? For fit a thing together.
Yeah, thank you. It's a good thing. So persons who are also helping people to rebuild.
Yes.
Make sure when you're buying stuff to rebuild, this is included.
Thanks, Lenworth.
Yeah, man. Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me.
Former President of Incorporated Master Builders Association, Mr. Lenworth Kelly.
All right, we're building together with Jem. That's what's up next.
So come.